Hey guys, how's it going? So I wanted to just update you about some of the therapy stuff that's going on. I've been in therapy for a long time. I was required to go to therapy when I was 14 or 15 years old. It was 14 when I took a deliberate overdose of Tylenol PM as a suicide attempt. They pumped my stomach, and then I went into therapy, and that therapist is amazing, and we're friends today, though obviously we don't have a therapeutic relationship. It's just a friendly relationship. And she's been really great, and I love her. And I want to visit her sometimes. She moved to Arkansas and wants me to come out and visit, and I want to as well. And her kids are my friends, and anyway, it was a really good relationship, and I saw a lot, and I saw a lot about myself, and she helped me a lot too. And then when I got into college, I started seeing a woman named Esther, and what I loved about Esther are the same things that I hate about her. But she's incredibly smart, and we get down to like, why did I act out in an unsafe way, you know? But she's been with me through a lot. She's been with me when I got kicked out of the military and I was suicidal. She was with me when I was arrested in Zion National Park for having a little bit of weed and was put on probation for a year, and I couldn't pass a background check, but I just finished college, so I couldn't get a new job. And thusly, I was suicidal then too. And my self-esteem just plummeted. I had no self-esteem. None. And then I got in a bad relationship with my ex-girlfriend, who maybe turned me off to girls altogether. I don't know. But that relationship just confirmed all of my thoughts, all of my internal thoughts that sometimes would be external because I would have to say them because they were so much I couldn't keep it in, you know, that I'm not enough and I'm a failure and I'm getting nowhere fast and my life's pathetic, you know. And then I did this stupid job. I moved to Cincinnati and I sold door to door. I was a door to door salesperson. And it fucking changed my life. I mean, of all things, right? Door to door sales job. But Jesus Christ. Every day, I had to remember what is good about me. And I had to go in with confidence at those doors. Because I wasn't selling a product. I was selling confidence. I was selling myself. And every day I got a little bit more forceful with my own confidence. And Cincinnati gave me the confidence I needed to move to Korea. And Korea allowed me to come out. So it's all connected, you know. I wouldn't have come out unless I was in Korea, and there was a lot of things I had to do before I could just move to another country. And so I worked with Esther while I was in Korea, and we did phone sessions, while I was in Cincinnati, and I struggled with depression, life-threatening depression. On the winter, it would be particularly bad, and more than once, it was thought that maybe I should go into a treatment facility, or at least institutionalized for a brief time. I don't know how long, but I wasn't insured, and there was no promise that would make anything better, so I just took antidepressants and I just watched. I watched how other people were just growing up. Getting their shit together and doing something with their lives, you know? I just watched that, but I couldn't do it. And then I got to a point where I could do my own adventures and my own form of growing up. But I know now that I was so reluctant to try to get one of those, you know, adult jobs because I wasn't an adult and I didn't know what I was supposed to grow up into. Because if I was supposed to grow up into a corporate woman, I might as well just shoot myself now, because that's not me, you know? And I didn't understand what was pulling me back was my identity. Like, I couldn't grow up because what I was growing up to be was so imprisoning, you know? And my therapist helped me out with all of this. Like, I don't think I would have been here if it hadn't been for Esther, who saw me with cheap sessions and spoke to me in the middle of the night and was just there, really there, and loved me and considerate and compassionate and understanding, and she was just an amazing therapist. And then I moved to Korea, and like I said, we were speaking over the phone, and that was fine. And then I started coming out as trans, and we were speaking about that, and I could tell something was weird about that, but I couldn't quite pin it down, and she wasn't talking about it, so I don't know, we've been talking about it for about a year, right? And over that year, I learned that she thinks that medical transition is, I don't know the word, just self-harming, or it's harming. She thinks that surgery is body mutilation, and hormones, the risk of cancer outweighs taking them. So she's not about to write my T letter, right? She doesn't support it. So I needed to see another therapist so I could get a T letter. So I started seeing a gender therapist, you know, kind of behind her back. And I thought that we could work on it, like, work on this. Because, like, if my aunt, who have had and I've been seeing Esther for 9 years. It's not like a short period of time. And I knew that this was what she was feeling while I was in Korea, but I couldn't very well just, like, say, well, maybe we should stop working together, because I was in Korea. I needed some support. Even if the support I got wasn't what I wanted, I still needed her. Because if I went into crisis or I was depressed and I couldn't move, she was the one who would know my experience with that in the past. And it was really important for me to have someone who was aware of my past while I'm so far away, you know. So I just continued working with her and figured that if it was like my aunt who had that opinion, that I shouldn't medically transition, that being trans is fine, but, you know, you need to keep your boobs and you need to not go on testosterone. And I would be like, listen, aunt, I love you, and I'm going on hormones, you know, and I'm getting top surgery, and your opinion about my body is not as valid as my opinion is, you know, but you're my aunt and I love you, and let's go have dinner. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to just write off my aunt, someone in my family, or someone who may share that same sentiment that my therapist does. And so I thought for a while I could just work with her, like, knowing that I've gotten a lot out of her, and that we have a relationship that isn't based on my transition. And so it would be really great to still get something from this relationship. But what has turned out, I mean, like, when she says things like surgery is like mutilation, I'm just like, no, it's not. And you can't see that. You can't see, like, how confining boobs are when you're male identified. How can you not see that? And I have big boobs, so it's not like binding makes them go away. If I had little boobs, maybe I wouldn't be so hung up on surgery, but I don't. So, you know, so I thought we could work through it, because we've worked through so much. Like, she's helped me out of so much. Like I said, I don't think I would be here without her. But our last appointment, she yet again associated surgery with body mutilation, and I'm just like, well, I think that this is it, you know? I think we're done. And it makes me so sad. I really like her. I mean, she's bugged me a lot. I always say Esther bugs me, but she does. But I'm definitely a lot stronger and a lot more capable, and all of the things that I like about myself, I'm able to see with her help. So it's hard to step away from that relationship. But the main reason I'm stepping away isn't because of what she feels. It's because I don't feel like I can talk about my trans issues. Like, it's no longer therapeutic. I no longer have the ability to just talk about transition without feeling judged, or like she's somehow missing the point and is thinking I'm doing something harmful to my body, like I have in the past. But this couldn't be farther from the truth, you know? I've been on antidepressants for years. I mean, like, 7 years, maybe, you know? 7 straight years. And I've been depressed and suicidal all throughout that time. And then once I came out as trans, within 5 months, and it would have been right away, but it was in the winter time, and the winter time's the hardest for me, but within 5 months I got off antidepressants, and I'm not depressed. And I got off antidepressants through the aid of, you know, a respected, like, physician. It wasn't like I just stopped cold turkey or whatever, but I don't need antidepressants. Not right now. Maybe in the future I will, but as of right now, things that I am overwhelmed with, it's just that. I'm just overwhelmed. I'm not depressed. I'm not suicidal. Coming out, like, freed so much inside of me. So much self-hate that I didn't know why that was. And I think if I had come out in any other situation, it would have been devastating. I would have killed myself. If I was in Utah, living at home, and going nowhere, and I found out that I was trans, I would have killed myself. So I had to be in Korea. I had to, in order to come out and realize that it is a blessing that I have come to understand this about myself. And I'm just sad that I'm, like, losing a really good support, you know? And I'm not saying anything bad about her. We have different opinions, and that she is completely entitled to her own opinion. That's not the question. It's just our relationship is no longer therapeutic. And I just wish it could have ended more organically, you know, instead of being like, well, these issues you're not really able to address in a way that I need them addressed, you know? So it makes me sad, because I really love her.